Hello everyone. In this video we will see how to do the skills for a driving test. You want to pass the exam on the first try. Look carefully what you have to do. Practicing all the basic maneuvers: stopping, starting, signaling, backing up, parking, obeying the speed limit, and all traffic control signs and signals are all good things to practice. One of the biggest things the examiner will look for is whether or not you have full command of your vehicle. If you are intimidated by the car, make jerky starts and stops, and generally show a lack of confidence in your driving, that will count against you. If you speed, run a light or a stop sign, or make other egregious errors, you can pretty much count on retaking the test. Make sure your car is ready for the test. Your registration and insurance should be easily accessible. Tires should be inflated properly and in good condition. Lights will all need to be working. Windshield wipers functional, with the washer reservoir filled, all instruments especially the speedometer working and accurate, and turn the radio off when you get there. There should be no cracks in windshield. Make sure your car isn't belching smoke. If the examiner feels like your car might be unsafe, they can turn you away. Adjust the seat to fit your body height and style. You should sit at least 10 inches, 25 centimeters, from the steering wheel, and your hands should be bent at approximately 45 degrees, holding the steering wheel at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Make sure your feet reach the pedals properly, so you're not stretching to reach them, or bunched up in your seat. Arrive at least 15 minutes prior to your appointment. Bring your completed and signed driver's log, driver's ed certificate, driving time with an instructor certificate, your learner's permit, and any other papers or certificates required, including your social security card and birth certificate for identification purposes. Get in the car with the driving examiner. Relax, and be friendly. You won't lose points for being unpleasant necessarily, but if your examiner needs to make a judgment call about your driving at some point, ask yourself, would you be easier on a nice person, or a jerk? Ask any questions that you have prior to the test and in the test if you are confused. The driving examiner will be glad to answer them. At all times drive at a safe speed. Note that this does not necessarily mean the speed limit conditions may warrant a slower speed. Under no circumstances exceed the speed limit. Practice situational awareness. Check your mirrors regularly. Make this a little more exaggerated than normal, just so it is clear that you are doing it. Keep your head moving, looking out the window. For other traffic, pedestrians, kids, little old ladies, etc. Keep your eyes on the road, not on that good-looking guy or hot girl walking down the sidewalk. Your examiner will see them too, and check to see what has your attention, the road, or the hotness. If you want to pass, the answer needs to be the road. When you change lanes or turn your head to look behind you. Your rearview mirrors are useful, but they're not foolproof. A combination of eyes and mirrors are the best. Obey all signs. Come to a full stop at stop signs. Look all ways before continuing. If there are other people at the stop sign, make sure you yield right of way properly and take your turn when it's IME. Don't forget to signal all turns, lane changes, and any time your intent is to change direction. Park confidently. Practice with your driving instructor or parent before taking the test so that you can do a clean, confident job of parallel parking, backing up straight, and 3 or 4-point RNS. Parallel park as best as you can. Make sure you turn on your indicators, as not doing so will likely ensure a failure. Try not to bump the curb. Go slowly and carefully, looking to the back and sides as you do so. Remember, it's okay to slightly bump the curb, just not jump it. You will lose some points, but that's better than failing the test altogether. Parallel parking can be intimidating, but you'll master it in no time with a bit of practice. Before you begin, find a space a few feet longer than your vehicle. Confirm the space is legal and use YO R flashers to signal as you pull up in front of the space. Shift into reverse and begin slowly backing up. At the same time, push the top of your steering wheel toward the space until the vehicle is at a 45-degree angle. Straighten out by turning the steering wheel the other way and bring your vehicle parallel to the curb. Shift back to drive and pull forward to center the vehicle in the space. A three-point turn is designed to help you turn 180 degrees in a narrow space. It is especially useful in a cul-de-sac or dead end. Before you learn a three-point turn, you need to have spatial awareness of where your car begins and ends, as that awareness will help you keep your car in the road when making a three-point turn. Make sure to practice three-point turns in a parking lot or someplace without traffic until you get the hang of it. Driving in reverse can be intimidating to inexperienced and seasoned drivers alike, because the wheels you use to steer are in front of you as you move backwards and your vision is obscured by the vehicle. Backing up can be one of the tougher tasks faced by drivers. By driving slowly and paying close attention to your surroundings, you can improve your ability to drive in reverse. Parking in a parking lot can be challenging, especially for a new driver. Sometimes, parking spaces are small and the lot is very crowded, making this even more difficult. There are 3 different types of parking spaces in parking lots: angled, perpendicular, and parallel. You should be proficient at all of these before passing a driver's exam or getting on the road. This article addresses tips on how to park in different types of parking spaces. Find a parking space not surrounded by many cars. It will be easier to practice parking with fewer obstacles in your way. When you're practicing, you will want to do this in a parking lot that isn't crowded. As you're learning, you might make mistakes. In an area with no cars, you are unlikely to hit anything as you practice your parking skills. This isn't just a good idea for people learning HW to drive. If you haven't driven in a long time, it is a good idea to practice parking and driving a little bit before going long distances. Position your car. You want your vehicle to be in the right spot, away from other cars and the right distance from your spot so you can cut your wheel correctly. 1. Make sure there is at least 5 or feet between your vehicle and any other parked cars. If there aren't any cars in the spaces near you, try to judge a 5 or 6 foot distance away from them. This is so that when you are parking, you see 8. Use the rest of the steps for cutting your wheel correctly. Signal when you have found a parking space. This will let other drivers know you are going to park. 2. Drive forward slowly until you see the center of the parking space you want to use. Be aware of other drivers. Don't take the space someone else has been waiting for. Make sure there is no one trying to back out of a nearby spot as you are driving forward. Turn the wheel sharply. You should do this once you see the center of the parking space. 3. Make sure your car is still about 5 to 6 feet from any other cars or empty parking spaces as you begin to TUR. You will want to turn the wheel about a half of a turn. Make sure there are no carts or other objects in the space. Move forward slowly into the space. Come to a full stop when your car is in the SOT the whole way. Make sure your car is in the spot entirely to avoid getting a ticket. Straighten out your wheels. You can do this once your car is stopped. You want to make sure your wheels are straight so you can back out of your spot straight. You can also straighten out your wheels just before you back out. However, it is best practice to do this when you park. Thank the examiner. When you return to the motor vehicle department, listen to what the examiner has to say. Most likely they will mention what you did wrong, and a little of what you did right. Then, they'll tell you if you passed or failed. Whichever it is, thank them politely. If you passed, you'll be pleased, and it's always nice to be polite. If you failed, you'll have to come back and get the same examiner the next time. If you fly off the handle and call the examiner a nail-biting old crank who needs new glasses, it will probably go a lot harder on you next time.